My name's Julia Green. I'm known in the streets as Ozhaawashkwaa. We are here at the American Indian Center today for our Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Relatives March. We come out every Valentine's Day to march to South Minneapolis to raise awareness for our loved ones that are going missing and being murdered at disproportionate rates to any other demographic. We make up 1% of the population, but we make up 10% of missing and murdered cases in the state of Minnesota. So we're trying to raise awareness to this disparity so that we can have accountability for our loved ones, we can have justice for our families, and we can have some closure on this healing journey that a lot of times we don't get because we never get those answers.
What are some things people should know if they have never heard of MMIR, if they don't even know what that stands for? What would you tell them?
MMIR is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives. We have an MMIR office in the state of Minnesota. To my knowledge, it's one of the only offices of its kind at a state government level. They are currently supporting 28 families that have loved ones that are either missing or have been murdered, and there hasn't been any justice or accountability. This is a nationwide movement. It also occurs north of the Medicine Line in Canada, where we are raising awareness for our missing and murdered relatives across Turtle Island, both north and south of the Medicine Line. So there are several marches here in Minnesota today. There's this one here in Minneapolis, there was one in Bemidji, and there's one in Duluth as well. And every year the turnout gets bigger and bigger. Our voices get louder and louder, and eventually change will come.
How has MMIR touched or affected your life personally?
I know people who have gone missing or who have been murdered. I also professionally work with Indigenous youth who face sexual exploitation and trafficking, which is a intersection of missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. A lot of times when our relatives go missing, they go missing because of exploitation or trafficking situations. Some other times when our relatives are murdered, they are murdered as part of exploitation or trafficking situations. And there isn't a young person that I haven't worked with that does not have a direct connection to a missing or murdered Indigenous individual.
Last question. Is there any additional things that you just wish to share at the top of your head? And also, how can people support this cause?
Remember, we're the original stewards of this land. We're the original caretakers. We're sacred people, and we should be upheld as such. Our women are sacred. Our girls are two spirits. The rest of our relatives, they are sacred. They deserve to live a long and healthy, prosperous life, just like anyone else. And if you want to get involved with the movement, and if you want to come down and support us and our people, there's a lot of different resources online. I definitely would start with the MMIR office. There's a lot of grassroots organizations around here too, especially in South Minneapolis, that have a lot of great information. Camp Ninnekasi, Southside Quays, the American Indian Center, AICDC, NACD, they all have great information, especially on events and educational pieces, so that people can be informed and they can get involved.
Thank you very much.
Miigwech.